Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
On this week's episode of the Kindness Project, we talk about nicknames, biscuits, and we have part 3 of our interview with Penny Power from BIP100.
Brilliant. Welcome to this special Easter 2020 episode of the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a girl who is wearing a special Dungeons and Dragons t-shirt, Charlotte Daves, and a esteemed producer of the podcast, Russell, who apparently wants to introduce the phrase "bading badong" into common terminology. I don't think it's going to play. Do you, Charlotte? What do you think?
I don't think it's going to get popular.
Do you think bading badong is something that's going to be particularly popular?
I won't be using it. Sofa will apparently.
Oh, right, okay.
I will not be using that phrase.
So if you were to use the phrase bading badong, how would you use it?
In place of making the doorbell sounds.
Okay, cool. So when do you make the doorbell sound?
I don't.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding
and now
dong.
it's going to be bading badong.
Surely you'd just press the doorbell, wouldn't you?
Well, no, not if I was in a conversation and someone was like,
Right.
we were having a discussion about
Help me
doorbell.
understand the last time you had a conversation about a doorbell.
When was the last time I had a conversation? It was last week.
Last week you had a conversation about a
We
doorbell
were
last
talking
week.
about the Ring doorbell.
Right.
Because Mum gets all the videos for the Ring doorbells, and I had friends over, and she was in Turkey, so she had all my friends arrive on the Ring doorbell, and she sent me the video. It's very funny.
Yeah, because some of them were polite, some of them were less polite, weren't they, when they rang the Ring doorbell? That is the genius of the Ring doorbell. Right, here's the first unofficial question of the podcast, ladies and gents, if you're watching this. What is the funniest thing to happen with your Ring doorbell? We would love your comments. And if you're listening on the audio, let us know. But we are, this is a special live episode of the Kindness Project that's going out on Facebook and is certainly we'd love your comments live. So if you're watching on Facebook, let us know what's the funniest thing to happen on a Ring doorbell. And another unofficial question of the podcast: would you use the phrase ever bading badong? I don't think we would. Russ is trying to make it catch on, but I don't know whether it's going to work. I mean, he might just change the audio for the Kindness Project podcast just to bading badong.
It's just
ding 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 dong.
There's just one episode where it's just us saying the phrase bading badong, like
yeah. I mean, we
spliced together.
To be honest, we've had episodes like that in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah. Question number 1: what's the strangest experience you've had on a Ring doorbell? Question number 2: what's the funniest? And clearly, we're a family podcast, so some stories might be edited a bit. But what's the funniest family story you've ever had? So just a story involved in your family that's going to make us chuckle. And world's greatest Easter egg is the other one. So we certainly want answers to all of those questions. Funniest thing to happen on a Ring doorbell, funniest thing to happen involving your family. Feel free to name and shame. I mean, we've just named and shamed Russ for coming up with the ridiculousness that is bading badong.
And if you've listened to this podcast, you've heard quite a few of Russell funny stories.
You have,
yeah.
Particularly recently about how he's got a incredibly hot head.
It's become a new nickname as well.
Hot head, yeah.
Hot head. We don't.
Not producer Russ anymore. It's hot head Russ. Hi Tracy. Thanks for watching the show. We really appreciate it. Yeah. So there are 3 questions: family memories, Easter eggs, and funny questions about the Ring doorbell.
I don't think that's what it had. What you have written down. I think
the Ring doorbell one was only came from bading badong.
Bading badong. I think you have one written down about nicknames. Like if you had to give yourself a nickname.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. So you were saying, I didn't realise this. You were saying that you've got a nickname.
Yeah.
So what's that nickname?
So not a lot of people, like 3 or 4.
You know what?
In my social circle, it's a lot. I've got 3 or 4 people.
I love this. I love the way this story is started. A lot of people call me Hero. Just that.
No, CJ. So my first name and then my middle name, and you take the first letter from my first name, first letter from my second name.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Are you trying to make it catch on, or are your
It's
friends
already
trying
caught
to...
on.
No,
It's
no,
already-
no, no, no,
it's
no, no,
already
no,
there.
no, it's not. It's not. Charlotte, are you trying to make it catch on, or are your friends trying to make it catch on?
Both.
Right, who started it?
Me. Of course I did.
Oh, I love, yeah, a lot of my friends call me CJ. How many? 2.
3 or 4.
3 or 4? 3 or 4? 3.5.
5.
12.
Quite a few. And by
so-
quite a few, I mean half my friend group, so 5 people.
So I suppose the last question of the podcast is, what's your nickname? And
How did it start?
And how did it start? And what would you ideally like your nickname to be? If you had to pick your own nickname, what would you choose? So CJ, why is CJ? Why do you
just like it.
Just like it?
Just like
Yeah,
it.
fair enough. Okay. Couple of things you need to be aware of. We would love to have you live on the show. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, there is a Zoom link attached to the post. All you need to do, click on that Zoom link, enter the password, and you're in. You can join us live on the show. We would love to see you this Easter Friday and see how you're getting on. That's Charlotte looking for the phone.
Yeah, I want to see what's going on there live.
Yeah, please feel free to comment, like, tell us you're having a good Easter, all of that sort of stuff. Certainly answer the questions of the podcast. Make sure that you can, you're getting involved and engaged as much as possible. While we're waiting for people to join and people to say hello, just a little bit, if you don't know about the Kindness Project, we've been doing this now too long.
We've hit the 4th year anniversary. I think we're coming up on the 5th.
This is where you need Russ to really get involved and get engaged, but he can't because he's too busy doing the live stream.
We've got more people watching. Look.
But yeah, hi everybody. Great to have you on board. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Steve, for watching. Lovely to have you on. Feel free to answer the questions of the podcast. We'd love to get involved. But yeah, we've been doing this now. We've been hosting this podcast for excuse me, 4 and a bit years. We love doing it because we get to interview some amazing people doing good stuff in the world. And slowly but surely, I mean, when we first started the podcast, literally nobody listened, did they? And we had our sort of stats this month to say that potentially if we carried on the trend of the start of the month, we'd have about 40,000 listeners this month, which blows my mind. I don't know how that happens. I don't know why you've not got better things to do, to be honest, listeners.
I mean, if you're sitting on a train or a bus or a car, you're in a car, and you just pop us on, just
pop us on. Just pop us on, have a little laugh, and then just join in. And interestingly, what we found as well, we had some feedback from because we never did it live for 3 and a bit years. We were just carrying on doing what we were doing on audio, and we are available on Spotify and stuff like that. We just carried on doing that, and then lockdown hit, and I thought it'd be a good idea just to have a bit of routine in our lives and hopefully sort of brighten up people's days, just to do this live, get involved, get engaged, and make sure that we were in a position where we were hopefully making your life and everybody else's life a bit happier. And that's the reason we did it. I had a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and they said to me, look, why don't you do another live? And to be fair, we haven't promoted this one particularly well, have we?
No.
So we need to learn a lesson from that.
I think I might be the only one watching it.
But yeah, if you do tune in, it'd be great to see you. We will be doing it again Monday. And the lesson that I've learned is... We are?
Oh, damn, okay.
We are. And the lesson I've learned is do a bit of promotion before it, because that might mean there'll be a few more people watching. If you are watching, that'd be great. Feel free to let us know. So,
there's nobody watching, it's just us.
Lovely, it's just us. Just us talking on the internet.
Again.
I don't know, again. Right, so talk to me about your favourite family story that makes you laugh?
Oh, I think there was that time you told Soph that story, and then she went and she told it to her entire class.
What story was that?
The one about you walking out in your pants and getting looked out of your own house.
Right, right. No, sorry. Can I just add some context to this story? So I'm sort of. It just doesn't look like I regularly walk out in the street in my pants. I was a young boy. I mean, I say young boy. I was about probably 16, 17. And I walked out of my house, and then it was 3 a.m. I woke up around the corner and I had to come back and got locked out of my house. So I had to knock on my door. So that was the story effectively. Suddenly I told my youngest, and she decided that would be an absolutely hilarious story to tell everybody, basically.
Everybody.
So,
and now I've told everybody, and we're continuing the cycle.
And now it makes for quite an embarrassing school gates visit, because I'm there thinking, who has heard the story about me in my pants? I don't know. Everyone.
There's no one who doesn't know the story.
Everyone. Now. Well, everybody does now. We're doing it live on the podcast.
Well, no one else is watching.
Well, but when it goes out on audio, there'll be. But we might not put this one out on audio though, just so I can avoid the embarrassment of everyone single one of our audience.
Everyone must know.
Being in their pants. I like everyone being in their pants. Nobody's in their pants apart from me. Not right now, clearly. Not right now. In the story.
We're both doing Zoom fashion though, so it's like
Zoom fashion.
We've got like the top halves, and then you've got gym shorts on. I think
I have got gym shorts on,
and I've got shorts on.
Well, it's a lovely Easter's.
Yeah, but it's very Zoom fashion to be like, I don't need to really care about the top half.
You know what? You know what's interesting, and I don't know if you feel this way. I don't miss lockdown that much. It was weird when I was having a conversation about this and potentially doing this live. The part of the conversation was the person that I was having a chat with actually said that there's parts of lockdown that they felt they missed, and part of it was just that routine they got into in lockdown that was quite sort of relaxed, and we wasn't rushing anywhere and stuff like that. What do you think? Do you miss lockdown in some ways?
Yeah, and definitely in some ways, because lockdown used to be like I could if I had a lesson at 9, I'd roll out of bed at 7, have breakfast at 8, go upstairs. I had time to get a cup of tea between my lessons, which I cannot do now because I've got like 10 minutes between a lesson. You're not allowed to take hot drinks into lesson. Like I could sit and have a cup of tea and do my English lesson, but I can't do that now. I can have a bottle of water, but I can't have a cup of tea in my English lesson.
You know what I love about that? Your roll out of bed is still 2 hours preparation. I mean, like, so most people is like get up at 10 to 9 and like sort of roll into a meeting. Oh yeah, I love the fact that I didn't have to roll out of bed 2 hours, 3.5 hours before the meeting.
Because what I do now is I wake up at 6:30 and then I'm like, and then I roll out of bed at 7, eat at 7, leave at 10 to 8. Arrive at 10 to 9, have to be at lesson at 9.
But this is the thing, like the commute was never it just seemed to be one of those things that everybody did. And then lockdown here, and people were going, why am I commuting still? Why am I still sort of traveling every day to the office? Or can I change the way I work? And I think, I don't know what you think. I don't know what our sort of listeners think. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is that a permanent thing? Do you reckon that we've just moved away now from the world of commuting to the office 5 days a week, or do we actually, are we going to have just a bit more flexibility in our sort of lives?
Wish it didn't take so long to get there.
Yeah, you're a bit of a distance
about an hour
away.
Out.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, a lot of people who work in town spend an hour sort of getting into the office. So
it's a nice opportunity to sit and read. And so we do this thing with Spotify. We're not sponsored, but you know what? We do use Spotify.
Why are we not sponsored, Spotify? Have a word, mate. Come on.
So what we do is like we each
As one of your 5 top happiest podcasts, why are we not sponsored? Go on.
so like each
On what platform?
Spotify. At the start of each week,
Never mentioned Spotify.
You get a Discover Weekly playlist.
It's good Spotify, isn't it? I like Spotify.
And so what we do is that we go through our Discovery playlists and that's what I do on Mondays on the bus. I go through my Discovery playlist. But then
the Discovery playlist can be one or two things. It can be either amazing and like there's loads of songs on there where you go, I haven't heard that for ages, or it can be just really disappointing.
You get stuff you've heard before. No, I get brand new stuff. I get
a combination. So I get a lot of 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff.
Yeah.
But then songs that I probably haven't heard in 20 years or something. And just as a reminder of how amazing those songs are, combined with some more modern stuff. So, but I think it is Spotify because they're quite good. Spotify, you're welcome. Sponsored. You are welcome, Spotify. We will be sponsored, Spotify. Come on, give us a bit of cash. You know what? I wouldn't mind being sponsored by Spotify. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and we've resisted getting any sponsorship. But I just think if you got sponsored by brands that you believe in, that's a million times better than actually just when you listen to a podcast and you go, really, are you into whale fishing? I didn't realize this podcast. So I think if you're a podcast, you want to promote brands and services you actually use. So we are looking for let's have a think about who our ideal sponsor would be. Spotify.
We use a lot of Spotify.
A lot of Spotify. We'd like a bit of Spotify.
You remember when we were sharing that account and we somehow managed to rack up 900 hours in a year?
I don't know how you can listen to that sort of music, really. I mean, the worst thing about sharing an account on Spotify, they've got Duo, which is quite good Spotify.
We do that,
yeah. Duo. Sorry, is this turned into the Spotify podcast? Hi, Deb. Thanks for watching. Great to see you. Has this turned into the Spotify podcast all of a sudden? This is very strange.
I mentioned it once. It's your
somebody need Russ. Can you email Spotify and see if we can get some sponsorship, mate? That'd be amazing. What other brands would you have sponsor the podcast?
What else do we use?
Plasters. You use a lot of plasters. Elastoplast. The Kindness Project, sponsored by Elastoplast.
These are actually Tesco own brands.
Tesco, we use your plasters, mate. maybe Tesco's is the way we go. So we've got the Spotify, Tesco's. Who else are we going for?
What else do we do? What else do we use?
And glasses. Specsavers. We could get sponsored by Specsavers.
Are they the ones that are in the Tesco's?
I mean, basically, whatever's in Tesco's, we're using, right?
We've got so many near us. It's just
I know. It's brilliant. So, just to repeat, questions of the podcast: best, funniest family story. What's been your best Easter egg ever? What other ones did we have?
Nicknames.
What nickname would you choose for yourself? And ring doorbells. So what's the funniest thing that's happened on a ring doorbell? I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but I had a ring doorbell story that was quite funny. I had a night out where somebody gave me a bottle of wine to take home, and I was a little bit inebriated when I came home, and I came in, went to bed, woke up the next day, and apparently on the doorbell, on the ring doorbell, Mum saw me swaying trying to get the key in whilst having a bottle of wine. But the problem is with ring doorbells is that's now permanent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like normally you'd press the door or you'd let yourself in by the key and nobody would ever see that.
We see it all now. It is all seeing and all knowing, and you shall never be forgotten because you are remembered by the eyes that watch you constantly.
That is the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. What was that? I mean,
that was just a bit of fun,
I mean, was that fun? I mean, I was genuinely scared. I mean, we do live in a more of a surveillance culture now.
I was just being realistic, man.
It sounded a bit dystopian, to be honest. It sounded like I was on the set of 1984. Do you know what I mean?
You're featured in the new episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, but how many things from Black Mirror are actually not a million miles away from the way we live? I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about your best Easter egg ever.
Oh, I don't remember most of them. They're gone by the time they're in me now.
Exactly. Once a but what's the best chocolate bar to get with an Easter egg? Do they do a dime bar Easter egg?
I don't know. I don't eat that many dime bars, if I'm being honest.
No, not dime bar fan.
No, not really.
Go on, what are you having then?
I don't know. I don't really eat a lot of chocolate. Although.
Oh, she's changing her mind. Go on.
Nah.
So would you have a savoury Easter egg?
Yeah. No, I don't even like eggs. I don't like eggs.
That's just a Scotch egg. So you wouldn't have a chocolate Easter egg. What would you have an egg made of to celebrate Easter?
Oh no, I'd eat it. If you gave me a chocolate Easter egg, I'd eat it. Appley. Very appley.
Sorry, you want an apple-y Easter egg? Apple chocolate. Is that a thing?
Oh, it should be.
Should it?
Yeah.
Banana chocolate might be good.
Oh.
Banana chocolate Easter egg. I'd eat that.
Yeah.
But what would you have in a banana chocolate Easter egg? Just those little banana sweets.
No, you'd have what's the dried banana? It's not actually banana.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It's
not actually banana, but it looks like banana. You know what I'm on about, right?
I think I do. So next unofficial question of the podcast is what would you have in your Easter egg if it wasn't a chocolate bar or some sweets? Hi Robbie, how you doing? Good to see you watching. Thank you for joining us. So we've got all those questions. Feel free to let us know. I've just realised that we definitely should have promoted this a lot better than we have done. But I'm just enjoying the Easter conversation.
Yeah,
We're just chatting. We're just chatting away and just enjoying the chat. So this week, we've got the third part of the interview with Penny Power. Now, you'll know if you've listened to the other two episodes that Penny is an amazing business person who puts kindness at the heart of everything she does. If you haven't checked out part 1 or part 2 of her interview, definitely do that. And we'll see you on the other side. So you mentioned a little bit about the community, BIP100. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, that's very generous of you. Well, hopefully I'll tell it in a way that inspires other people. So Thomas and I, from 1998, went on a journey of creating a community. Didn't know, we didn't have any desire of it being huge, but it became huge because it was the only one, and we had a nice culture in it. Ultimately, the expectations of us were just unbelievable, and it became very stressful. And then we left that world in 2012, 10 years ago, thinking, well, there's no way we can ever do community again because LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter, they've got it. However, those places aren't really satisfying our human needs. In fact, they're creating some really big mental problems and social anxieties and all sorts of things. So it was actually my daughter 4 years ago said, Mum, stop trying to be a businesswoman. You are a community creator. You need to think about create community again. But I was horrified at the thought of it because it just triggered all the financial stress. And then I just said to Thomas, why don't we just create a small community of 100 people? So we look for experts in their field so that they can collaborate and they can work together. There's a little bit of an internal market where they consume one another's skills. It's mostly online. We've got people in America, in New Zealand, in Australia, in Kuala Lumpur, across Europe. And it's very beautiful. And we have 14 Zooms a month. And they are a mixture of well-being ones, skills. Tonight we've got speed networking, which we always have a huge laugh at. We have 2 Let's Talk sessions a month. And that's when people just come in and to talk, and they talk about, when I close my eyes tonight, I'm going to give myself 4 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 on my performance, and then they share why they're not scoring as high as they would like, and so it's really nice.
And I suppose the thing that comes from that, and the dog's still going. He's not giving up. He's not giving up.
I can all hear you.
I suppose the other thing with that is that element of online, offline that we've all had to work with over the last couple of years. Do you think you'll transition the community to be more of a face-to-face thing? Because the dynamic's different, isn't it, online?
It is. I love the way Chris keeps having to mute. That's why I don't hear the dog in between.
You know what? Over the last 2 years, if there's one skill I've learned, Penny, it's the strategic mute.
Well, I agree with you. We can't do that when we're face to face with people, isn't it? It is. But and we do meet in London once a month, and those are lovely meetings. But obviously, being international, we don't want to exclude people too much. But our members do travel in, and they can see the year ahead what the different monthly events are, and they can plan some of their travel around it. But Thomas and I also hope to travel around and see them. Thomas wrote a book back in the early 2000s called A Friend in Every City, and it's wonderful. But I think Zoom is you can be very emotional. You can cry on Zoom. It is more, I think we get used to it. I can still feel your energy, Chris, even though it's on a screen. So.
Yeah, sorry about that, Penny. What I suppose the big thing as well, because it is an international community, is does the different people from different cultures and perspectives add value to the community in that way?
Oh gosh, yeah, hugely. I mean, probably there's less and less differentiation in cultures now because we're online. And, I remember being so disappointed when I went to Singapore and all the same shops that I'd find in my local town were in that, in Singapore. So, but yeah, they do. But actually, I do think we're all one nation, really.
Yeah, we are getting closer, aren't we? We are
hugely. And I mean, if you look at just how we're rallying at the moment against the one man who's really not doing any good in the world, we've all become one, haven't we?
You know what? I think when I look at what's going on, it is the epitome of how we now feel. And again, you can look at politics through a cultural lens, but for me, it's one of those things where you go, you know what? We don't want to live in a world where there's that merciless drive for power and wealth anymore. We do want to live in a world where people come first. Now, I am as I always talk about in the podcast, Penny, a natural optimist to my fault. So maybe that's just my perspective on it. But I do think the majority of the world look at it in that way. Most people are generally good, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, when I watch the news, and I know some people choose not to watch the news, but I do feel it's something like this. I don't know.
You want to stay informed.
Yeah, and send love out and have the empathy. But, I have the heart, my heart's breaking, obviously. Yeah. But also it is pounding for the love that you're witnessing, because for all the evil, there is equal.
It's shown that there's good in people. Yeah.
I mean, it is incredible. The courage of young men that are going all over the world, creating this foreign legion that's going in to support. Yeah. And just the love of the individuals and, the people carrying people across bridges and, people being terrified for no one to be left behind. And
100%.
Yeah, and I think you have to look at the love and the kindness that you're witnessing at the same time as the horror.
Yeah. Right. So let's finish, because I apologise for being late for the interview.
Oh, it's all right. We're all right.
We're still pretty good for time. But what I want to do is just share with our audience one tip you've got to just give more and be more kind. What would you do to encourage our audience to be a bit kinder?
I think it's very hard to be kind unless you're kind to yourself. So I do think, and it's a little bit of a cliche, but I think you need to be kind to yourself. And I would say, I think the kind actions can be in the smallest of things, you know, the way you talk to someone at a supermarket. You know, I think kindness doesn't have to be strategic. It can be literally in every part of your aura, in every meeting point that you have, the appreciation of from the postman that comes to your door. You know, it's just be kind, be a kind person.
I'm always really observant if I'm out meeting somebody new on how they treat waiters. That is a really good indication for me.
Oh my God. I actually fell out with a friend that I'd had for years when I experienced that. I agree with you. Absolutely.
All it takes is thank you, really appreciate. You know what? I've got to tell you a story very quickly. So we went out for early Christmas dinner last year, and one of my favourite foods, particularly at Christmas, is pigs in blankets. So ordered this Christmas dinner. It was meant to come with pigs in blankets, and I got 2 tiny chipolata style pigs in blankets. So I was a bit disappointed. And just as a joke, I said, "Look, I'm really sorry. The only reason I ordered Christmas dinner was pigs in blankets, and I get these 2. I'm really sorry about that." So don't worry, no worries. Dessert comes out, and there's a plate of pigs in blankets next to it because I mentioned so I got extra just for being nice and just saying it in a pleasant way. I just got extra pigs in blanket. That's the benefit of pigs in. And I'm easily pleased. Clearly, Penny, you know, bought with pigs in blankets.
You know, what it reflects is that you were noticed, and that's what we want.
Yeah, great.
We just want to be noticed.
So tell our audience where they can find out more about you, your community, and what you're up to at the moment.
Oh, that's very kind. Well, I don't know how relevant I am to the whole audience, really, but I'm on Instagram a bit. So I'm there, Penny F Power on Instagram, the F for friend. Couldn't get Penny Power. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me there. My website is pennypower.co.uk. And BIP100 is BIP100.club. And my book is on audio. I get. Did
you get to narrate it?
I did it. So I was going to say I get 0.06p.
You know what? I
feel
wrote
like
a book.
Spotify film superstar.
Yeah, I wrote a book in 2015 on pensions, available in no good bookshops. That I still get the odd royalty check for, and it's like I'm never going to retire on it. To be honest, it's never going to happen.
It's on ebook and it's on a book, and I think that's really only relevant to people in business. But it's definitely a journey of self-discovery, which I went through. In 2018 with a psychologist, and I learned so many things that I thought business people need to know this, and it's about really learning to have your own definition of success. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was lovely to see you, Chris.
Thanks. So I hope you enjoyed listening to Penny as much as we did interviewing her. Let's crack on with the show. What should we chat about?
I made my own iced tea today. Again, okay. I love iced tea.
Tell us about that.
So I used my cumin leaves.
Cumin?
Keemun. Keemun. It's the stuff they use as a base for Earl Grey.
Okay.
And so I made a pot of that and I let it cool, and then I put it in a glass of ice, and then I topped it off with lemonade.
So is it only cumin leaves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that not just tea then?
It's iced tea because I put ice in it.
No, I know that.
And lemonade.
But normally tea is made out of different blends, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like the cumin. It's nice.
So you just have cumin?
Yeah.
Can you have a cup of tea just with cumin leaves?
Yeah,
what does it taste like?
Like tea.
Has it got are you not like, by now you must be a tea connoisseur. What's the difference between some of your teas?
So I've got the Keeman, which is nice. My rose fig white tea is really nice.
Rose fig, that sounds nice.
Oh, it is. Yeah, and you don't put any milk with that usually. So it's because it's a white tea, you don't put any milk with it. I mean, with the black teas, you don't have to put milk with it, but usually they're paired with teas. If you go like out somewhere to like a cafe and order a black tea, you're more likely to get like a milk alongside it. But with white teas, it's less preferred. Like herbal teas, you don't have milk with them. Yeah.
Is that the tea chat over then? Are we?
You'd be surprised how many tea chats I've had in the past couple of days.
Go on, tell me about these tea chats.
So I'm having this tea chat with you.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a tea chat before that?
Last night.
Okay.
I showed my friend all of my teas because I've got a very extensive collection.
You know what? That word went from one word to a different word halfway through the actual word.
Yeah.
That is a talent. Extensive tea collection. I really like that.
Yeah, expansive. No, I can't do it again.
Expense-sensitive tea collection.
It's not sensitive because you just
pour it in.
Yeah,
you just pour it in.
Yeah.
Can you burn a tea? Can you boil a tea too hot?
I don't know. I've never done it.
Have you never done it? Have you tried though?
No, because I don't want to ruin my tea because it's expensive.
Yeah, I like the way you get really stressed over ruining your tea. I've ruined my tea.
Oh my god! When I oversteep my tea, I'm just like, I'm gonna have to do something different with this because I cannot
what your tea?
Oversteep it. So if you leave it in the hot, you leave the leaves in the hot water too long, and the flavour it becomes too strong.
Does it?
Yeah.
What other ways can you ruin tea? Just so I can give it a go.
No, not with my teas. You're not.
All right, now I'm just going to try it with some PG. Go on. What ways could I ruin a tea?
With a PG, it's not difficult to. It's not easy to go wrong with a PG.
No, it is.
What have you done to your PG tips?
For plenty of time, I forgot to boil the kettle. That ruins a cup of tea. It's not hot.
Yeah.
So right now, hold on. Right, let's just think about ways you can ruin a cup of PG. Number one, don't boil it.
Yeah.
Number two, get your dog to bark while you're doing the podcast. Number two is
oversteep it. Leave the tea bag in too long.
Can you oversteep a PG?
Yes.
So you just leave the tea bag in?
Yeah, too long.
Too long. I've left the tea bag in so long, the actual tea's gone cold. And I'm then deliberating whether just to make myself a new tea or just put it in the microwave. Do you put no? What?
Oh,
I've done that. I do that with coffee all the time.
Yeah, but not tea. Not tea, man. Don't put it in the microwave.
Not tea, man. Okay. So you can ruin tea by letting it go cold and then putting it in the microwave. That's number two. You can do that with a PG.
Yeah.
Okay, that's two.
Oversteep it.
Number three, 4 tea bags in a teacup.
Yeah, definitely. Lime scale in your kettle.
Exactly.
Not a
exactly.
Good move.
Lime scale in your kettle. Lime scale in your cup.
Yeah. If you rip the tea bag and then you've got all the leaves at the bottom.
Bits. You don't want bitty tea.
You don't want bits. Because like when I make my tea, I've got these diffusers and I don't let any of the leaves go, but the flavour goes through, which is great, and I love it because I love my tea. But I don't like the bits.
Have you ever? Because I've done this with coffee. Have you ever found yourself just like, oh, this is amazing, this, and then like you just get a little leaf in your mouth?
My lemongrass and peppermint tea. I usually make it iced, but it's really difficult because a lot of the bits slip through the cracks. So I've got a new pot to make my tea in. So it's like the part of the lid is the diffuser and it's like a little net, and you can't. And I've found that it's a lot easier to like sort of keep the bits in where they're supposed to be, but sometimes they do still slip through. So yeah, it's not.
It's tricky, this tea making business, isn't it? I thought it was just bang a bag in a cup and put some water in, but there's so much that can go wrong. Oh, apparently Robbie said stewed tea is
like overbrewing it. No,
don't overbrew your tea.
Don't overbrew your tea.
I've got another way you can ruin tea. You make yourself coffee instead.
I used to do that to you just from bit of a laugh.
You know what you did? I remember for years, what you used to do is if I asked for a tea, you made me a coffee. And if I asked for a coffee, you made me a tea. But it wasn't only that, right? It wasn't only that. If I asked for no sugars, there was typically 12 sugars. And if I asked for one sugar, there was typically about 38 sugars in there.
I've never put more than 3 sugars in your tea.
Here's the way.
I've never put more than 3 sugars in your tea because that is sacrilege.
3 cups of sugar. Here's the way you ruin a tea. Over sugared. That's the way you ruin a tea.
Yeah, never more than 3. Never more than 3.
Never more than 1. You have 1 sugar, 2 max.
I have 2, but I know some people prefer 3, but never more than 3. It's like when I'm making a pot and I know it's like it's a 2-cup pot. I put 4 in because that's 2-cup pot.
But then do you get one tea that's very sweet and then one tea that's very...
Just stir it.
Stir it.
Yeah, not with your finger, obviously. Typically, I do it with a chopstick.
Here's another way you can ruin tea. Why are you using a chopstick to stir your tea?
And it's longer than a teaspoon. And I find that if the receptacle's too deep, when you're making your tea, the spoon isn't long enough, so you just use like a chopstick or something.
I mean, chopstick to stir your tea. Here's another way you can ruin tea: dirty finger. Nobody wants your tea stirred with a dirty finger. Let's be honest. That's
here's another way to ruin your tea: milk first.
Who does that? Who does that? How about?
I used to do it to you as a joke, but then it didn't.
What, when I was for a coffee? Milk, tea. Yeah.
1 coffee bean.
Yeah. Here's another way to ruin tea. Other stuff that doesn't belong in tea. So when I was a kid, we used to experiment with drinks, and I used to put orange cordial in the tea.
Oh.
I know it doesn't work. It clearly
Not with
doesn't
the
work.
Milkman.
But it was like not with the milkman. Sorry, not with the milkman. Did you say? What is the milkman?
We don't have a milkman.
What is the milkman doing in your kitchen? Number 1, and number 2. Apparently, Russ said that's the last time he's going to let either of us make him a hot drink. I didn't realise Russ liked hot drinks because of his hot head. No, because
he's always got one of those like travel flasks on him.
Yes. So right, okay. So number 1, what was the milkman doing in your house?
It wasn't in my house.
Oh,
We don't have a milkman.
Yeah, we need a milkman.
We don't need a milkman. We just go around Tesco's.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Tesco's other sponsorship opportunities are available. Are they?
What?
How about tea? What would be your favourite tea sponsor if we could have one?
Twinings.
Twinings.
Yeah.
Are they the premier tea brand, do you reckon?
I've got I know where their store is in London.
Yeah.
It's there. It smells nice. It smells nice in there.
Smells nice. Why does it smell nice?
Because it's got tea in it.
Is there a man with his finger like that?
No.
Stirring the tea?
No, but if you go down to the back of the shop,
Where?
there's someone making tea.
I just want that man in Twinings to just stir it with his finger there. Just like, your tea is ready. Hold on, just 1 minute. I'm going to stir it with my finger.
He's going to send me.
All right, okay. So Robbie, who's Charlotte's nan, is watching live and is sending a spoon down specifically to stir the tea. No point, Robbie, send a chopstick, all right? Just because apparently we don't stir our tea with spoons anymore in our house. We use a chopstick. Well, they're not long enough. We use a chopstick. And we eat our Chinese food with a shovel, apparently.
Because there's that thing that we have, it's about that big, and I make iced tea in it. And the spoon is just not long enough because my whole hand is in there.
We eat steaks with a spoon. We're just like that in our house. We clearly don't use the right utensils.
We wash our dishes with the hose.
Yes, we need to do that. We need to wash our dishes with a hose. That sounds amazing.
I hate that I put that suggestion in your head.
Can we do that? Can we do that on the next live, Russ? Can we just do an outside broadcast where we just get the hose
I'm so sorry, Russ.
the dishes and just like sort of see if it works and see how long it takes for me to have to get a new cutlery set? But yeah, amazing. Well,
that's a sounding no.
Apparently, producer Russ has said, no, we're definitely not doing an outside broadcast where I hose all of the stuff in my kitchen. Russ,
You're not touching my mugs.
Russ, can I actually make you a cup of tea next time you're down? Is that allowed? That's going to be a no. I'll take that no as a no for everything I suggest, to be honest, because that's probably the wisest move in the world. So we've done tea.
Yeah.
Is there any other ways before we finish on tea that you can ruin tea? How about this? Do you dunk?
Dunk.
Do you biscuit dunk?
Only in a breakfast, nothing else.
A what?
A breakfast.
A breakfast like a fried. Oh.
Breakfast.
So you really confused me there. I thought you meant like dunking your biscuits in an egg. Only in a breakfast. Only in a breakfast. Right. So you
We're
don't.
talking about tea. Did you not know I was talking about breakfast tea?
I call that builders. I don't call.
No, builders is just breakfast tea, but you leave the tea bag in longer.
No. Builders. Look, you're talking about like PG, aren't you?
Yeah.
PG, right? So you call it breakfast.
Yeah.
I call it builders.
Yeah.
You could call it just a normal cup of tea. So you would dunk. What would you dunk?
Digestives.
Chocolate.
Custard creams. Bourbons. What would you dunk?
Loaf of bread.
So the thing is, me and Soph and Mum went out for lunch the other day because we did a shopping trip at IKEA, and Soph got a frozen lemonade and dipped her chips in it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You don't go savoury and sweet.
Well, you do apparently.
No, you don't. Chips in a frozen lemonade.
Yeah.
Would you do that, listeners? Would you give chips and frozen lemonade a go?
And there were lattice fries as well.
I don't know what's worse, the waste of a lattice fry or the waste of the frozen lemonade. Would she like dunk and then just drink it like normal, like a savage?
Through a straw.
So right, you're gonna go digestives, chocolate or normal?
Both, one in each.
What you do is make a chocolate digestive sandwich with two normal digestives, then a chocolate in the middle, and dunk that in. Right.
Rubber
Here's
band,
the question.
dunk.
Here's the so, rubber band. What's a rubber band for?
To hold it all together.
Right. So, I'm just trying to, in my head, work out how this all fits together.
Chocolate digestive, chocolate digestive, band. And then like two rods.
So, right, sorry, I'm confused first and foremost about the biscuit combination. So run that by me again.
Chocolate digestive,
right.
Chocolate on the outside.
Okay.
On the left. Plain digestive, chocolate digestive with the chocolate bit on the outside.
There is so much wrong about this. There is so much wrong.
Elastic band of some kind, maybe a hairband.
Why are you putting an elastic band around your biscuits?
Because my hands aren't big enough to hold all this while I also stir.
Right.
Like something to hold it in place.
A metal rod.
Or like a toothpick will do.
Chopstick might work.
Or maybe leave the elastic band off, just like poke a hole through all your biscuits and dunk them. Pull them out. Dunk them on the stick. Pull them out. Set them aside and eat them like that.
Now there is so much to unpack here. Firstly, why is the digestives not the inside of this biscuit sandwich as opposed to the outside of the sandwich? Because clearly the plain digestives should be on the outside.
Oh.
Because what do you mean why? Because they're like the bread bit, aren't they? Like the chocolate digestives are the bit in the middle.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Secondly, why are you wrapping a rubber band around some biscuits to dig it in? Apologies. To dip it in. Almost used the wrong word there. We definitely don't want to use that one.
Why not?
Why? Look, why not? You've got to justify your bizarre biscuit behaviour to me. I've got to justify it to you.
Because it's not what my finger's getting in the tea.
Right, okay, all right. Right, this is what you do. Chopstick all the way through the middle. No worry, you haven't got to worry about rubber bands. You dunk it once, twice, is a risk you don't want to take because you dunk it twice and then you're in a position where you're losing biscuit.
Well, no, because your outside biscuits are reinforced by chocolate, so you don't have to worry about double dunking.
The inside is reinforced because you do normal digestive, chocolate on the outside, sticking it together. Chocolate on the outside, sticking it together.
No, because if it's all on your chopstick, what does it matter if they're stuck together or not? The outside biscuits are reinforced. The inside ones are not. Dunk out.
All right, I'm going to change the game here. You ready for this? Normal digestive, chocolate digestive, chocolate on the outside, custard cream.
Oh.
Chocolate digestive, normal digestive. How are we thinking about that?
You got a custard cream involved. Them's fighting words. I love a custard cream.
Hobnob on top. That's where I'm going.
Not as big a fan of hobnob.
Oh, okay.
If you'd have said a bourbon or something. Oh.
Right now. Oh, apparently Robbie's saying if you spread butter on your digestives, that might work.
Oh, that's good. Oh, coffee.
That might work as well. So spread butter on your digestives, but here was the question wrapped around the entire element of that conversation, right? So we've got our skewer of biscuits, whatever order you have them in. Clearly my order was right, but whatever order you have them in, you've got your skewer of biscuits. You dunk it once, all good, right? You're ready to eat.
Yeah.
You dunk it twice. Chaos. It all falls in.
No, it doesn't.
Then you've got no. I'm saying, all right. Let's say you dunk it twice, all fine.
Yeah.
You dunk it the third time, dangerous.
Dangerous.
It all falls apart, right? There's all biscuit in your.
That's why you don't dunk it the third time because it's dangerous.
An actual, yeah. All right, we can agree on that one. I'd say don't dunk it twice, but then you've got more biscuit than tea. Is your tea ruined?
Yes.
Or do you just get a spoon and have a little tea mousse situation where you eat the biscuit?
You haven't got more biscuit than tea. You just got those crummy bits at the bottom.
But they're still quite tasty. See, I'd get a spoon or potentially 2 chopsticks if we're living in a world where we just use chopsticks and stuff, which you clearly are.
I don't even know how to use chopsticks.
Where
I just use them for things that they're not intended for.
What else? I'm going to regret asking this question. What else are you using chopsticks for? Sorry, for poking. Why are you poking with a chopstick that you're not meant to?
No, just like if there's like
biscuits.
I put them in something the other day.
Sorry, you can't be that vague when you're talking about what you're poking. Pasta. Okay, fair enough.
Because I wanted to see
that was less of a worry.
I wanted to see if the sauce had reached the bottom of the pan, but my spoon wasn't going deep enough. So I put the chopstick in at the bottom of the pan, and it wasn't, because you could see like the top part of the chopstick had sauce on it, and the bottom bit didn't.
Right.
So yeah.
Fine. Okay, let's get back to biscuits.
Yeah.
Let's get back to biscuits.
No.
Not working.
I enjoyed it while it was happening, but afterwards I regretted it.
That was one of those goes where you go, let's get back to bit. Oh no, actually, let's leave it. Biscuits, right?
Yeah.
And tea. If a biscuit
spill the tea for me.
If a biscuit disintegrates in your tea, does it ruin the biscuit, the tea, or both?
Both. Well, no, it doesn't ruin what's left of the biscuit. It just ruins the biscuit.
But how deep are you dipping? Are you a deep dipper?
No, I'm not.
How deep are you dipping? That's because you're trying to put an entire sandwich in there. You can't dip your biscuit sandwich.
I'm barely breaking surface tension on my biscuit dippers.
You're joking.
And then you just bite that bit, and then you dip again.
No, you go halfway. A dip is halfway through.
Not when the whole biscuit. Not when half the biscuit doesn't fit in the mug.
Yeah, this is where Robbie's saying this is where you need a spoon, because apparently that a spoon is where you use it to like get the biscuit out the bottom of the tea. Too easy that. We like to do it with chopsticks, don't we, Charlotte? We like to do it with chopsticks. Right. So if you are watching, and thank you for watching, there's a few more of you on now. What is the best biscuit combination? If you had to have a biscuit sandwich, what would you have? Because we think digestive. Is that right? Digestive. What are you doing? Digestive.
I'm looking at what this badge is next to Nanny's name. I think it means that she's been following the Kindness Project for 2 years.
Amazing. Well done.
I didn't know that you could get badges like
we
that.
are live,
Sorry,
by the way.
I got
Yeah,
distracted by the dedication to this podcast.
Amazing. Thank you, Robbie. We appreciate it. So are we going biscuit, and if so, what combination of biscuits would you have in your biscuit sandwich?
Custard cream. Custard creams all the way down.
Custard cream.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have digestive custard creams.
Oh, if I'd have known custard creams were on the table from the beginning, I would have just got custard creams. I love custard creams.
What's the worst biscuit, do you think?
Those ones that don't have any sugar in them.
What, crackers, you mean?
I don't know, I like crackers because they're not biscuits. They're crackers. Exactly. Like, you know, I don't want to be putting my biscuits in my hummus, you know? Like,
why not?
It's not nice.
Oh, right, okay. But it's fine to put your chips in your lemonade, is it, apparently?
No, I'm not saying that. You're the youngest one said that. It's not me. Okay. It's not me.
Fair enough. Right.
It was a good lemonade, though.
Right. We have managed to drag this out with very little engagement from the audience for 45 minutes.
Oh. Fair enough.
Apparently, we've been talking about tea and absolute nonsense 45 minutes. What we're going to do is end it right there. Thank you for listening to the Kindness Project. Hopefully, a few of you will comment on the replay and
come back on Monday.
Come back on Monday. What we'll do is we will promote this.
Yeah.
Like, promote it full stop. And what we might do, Charlotte, on Mondays, we'll do an early one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do like a sort of 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like shove me out of my bed. I'll be up at 7.
Up at 7 for your standard 2 hours prep.
Yeah, my 2 hours prep.
And we'll do an early one on Monday. I'll make sure I promote it, and then we can re-engage them. But if you're listening on the audio, thank you for getting involved in and engaged in the podcast.
We
as
didn't
per
get
normal.
any answers to our questions.
We'd love. We've only asked about 27 questions in this podcast.
We asked 3 primary ones.
We'd love answers to your to these questions. Biscuit combos, ring doorbells, all of the other stuff that we're we're speaking about. We'd love to know the answers to that, and we will see you if you're watching the live on Monday, and if you're listening on audio, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.